Three, two, one.
Glowing Up Latina, Season 3, Episode 17.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Glowing Up Latina. I'm Christina, and I'm here with
Amanda.
it's Amanda, you guys. A round of applause for
Yay!
Amanda.
Round of applause. I'm back. Yes. Excited, very excited to be back.
We are very excited to have Amanda back for our month of love, Amanda and Liana's birth month. Very exciting.
Yes, 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 yes. Not gonna lie, I had a little bit of FOMO the first two episodes in January. I was like, oh, this is weird. I'm listening, watching episodes. I'm not in it. It was a little weird. I did have FOMO. I did. I was like, oh, what do I do? But yeah, but Christina did a fantastic job this whole month of January, bringing you guys a lot of content. An interview with Bonita Cafe, and then doing.
A collaboration with Alex of Driven Latinas.
So yeah, guys, and then Christina gave you three solo, no, two solo episodes. I think she did very, very well. I think she should give herself a round of applause. So round of applause for Christina.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
woohoo. And then tech support Thomas. That was nice. I love that episode. Fresh, fun, just very wholesome. So I love that.
We love tech
Um,
support.
yes, we do love tech support. So yes, it's great to be back. I was away in personal matters, but again, here for us to give you the content you like to hear, guys. So yeah.
Are you excited? We have an exciting episode for you guys. Exciting topic for, like I said, our month of love. It's February. Y'all know we love love. So,
We do. We love love. And should we get into it?
so
I'm a little
before
rusty.
we start, I just want to remind everybody you can still submit submissions for our season 3 finale with the link to our Google form in the show notes, with the question box that we put up on Instagram every week. I did get a little lazy, I will not lie, but it's going back up, doing it. And I think that's it. I think that's the only announcement that I had for today. So just make sure to do that. We've gotten some really great submissions. First of all, I just want to say that I love that you guys like look to us for advice. We are always happy to help and lend our experience where it's needed. Because just because we failed at something doesn't mean you guys have to.
Exactly, right? Maybe there's something that we can do through you guys that we didn't get to do with ourselves growing up. So yeah.
Okay, so today we are going to be talking about self-love. And if you are an OG of the show, then you know that we have talked about self-love before. And of course, I will link to that episode in our show notes in case you want to go give it a re-listen or in case you're new and want to listen to it. But we're gonna do like a little bit of a different spin on today's episode to as opposed to our old episode.
That episode was at the very, very beginning. That's crazy. In preparation for this episode, because we like to come here prepared. I also listened to the episode for self-love, and wow, it's crazy the things I said then and what we're going to bring up again today. So,
I do have a question for you before we start.
oh my goodness, yes.
Did you work on the driving?
Oh my, so that is in my notes. That is definitely in my notes of things to bring up. What's crazy from uh, not driving by myself, but I want to say there were a couple of times in 2023 where I got behind the wheel and drove, but not in the state of New York. Because let me tell you, New York City
Oh,
is
I did know this. I knew this. You're right. Yeah,
did
yeah,
not drive in New York. I mean, yeah, I didn't get behind the wheel in New York City because it gets me a little anxious. But I did drive a little bit upstate and I did drive when we were away in Florida. Because again, roads are clear and quiet and kind of like no distractions. So yeah. I did
There
drive.
is no type of traffic like New York City traffic.
Yeah, they say, I mean, they do say that if if you drive in New York City, you can drive anywhere. So, you know,
But yes, I did have to ask that because I heard it and I was like, huh, I wonder if she's done that at all. But it was a
same.
good episode. If you have time, go give it a re-listen. It was funny to like listen to ourselves like back then. It wasn't even that long ago.
It wasn't that long ago, but I already knew. Well, sorry, everyone can see my heated blanket. It's cold. I'm freezing. Um, it wasn't that long ago, but it was like a while ago. This is before I even got married,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Mhm.
Hmm.
I think I said I was 28 in the episode, so
Yeah.
but in my head I'm newly 30, so it's fine. I mean, it's been a while. It's been like 3 months, but it's okay. Four, I guess now. Whatever.
That's crazy that it's only been 4 months.
I know.
It feels longer. Does it
It
not?
does. The
It does.
winter months
Yeah.
just, oh, I was telling somebody today, like I hate winter. It's just I'm excited for it to start getting like for the light to stay out longer. There we go.
Well, in a month from now, the sun is supposed to go down at like what, at 5:30? So,
It's great. Love that. I know had an eye doctor appointment yesterday and when I was like walking to the appointment, it was still like a little sunny out. And I was like, "Oh my God, it would have been like super dark a couple weeks ago." So,
yeah.
it was nice. Okay, anyways, on to today's episode. Like we talked about is going to be self-love and specifically what self-love was like in our households growing up. So that's going to be fun and exciting.
Yeah. This was I think this is an interesting topic. Fun to just like dive into. Only because right, I needed to think about how that looked like in my household. I think I have a few examples I want to say. So yeah.
Yes. Okay, so to kind of like go off of our previous episode to begin with, Amanda, where are you in your self-love journey now?
Wow. Okay. Where am I now? I think it's okay. I know we said it wasn't too long ago, but it does feel like a lot happened from then up until now. So like we're talking about over a year now, over a
Mhm.
year. Yeah. Um, my self-love, I think it got better um towards the end of, I want to say like it got better like from the time I got married up until like the beginning of 2023
Oh, that's right. You did get married in 2022.
too. So
Yeah.
yeah, everything was fine and dandy, but self-love started to like diminish in 2023. I think I've discussed earlier like in previous episodes that I wasn't happy with my physical appearance, my health, like everything. There were a lot of things that were coming up and I needed to take care of. And because of that, I was having a hard time just being happy with myself, what I was seeing in the mirror, and just also mentally, like again, I did mention that if physically I don't look great, then mentally I don't feel well as well. Also. So I, you know, did a 180 halfway through 2023, started working on my health, and that made me love myself a little bit more. Other things were thrown at me that I was just like, damn it, why? And it was affecting me mentally because I just felt like a lot of my questions were why questions, like why me? And I didn't want to also like I don't also want to sound like I'm being, what's the word? Maybe like self-involved, like only me. I didn't want to sound like I was being,
Self-absorbed.
yes, and not think about everything else around me. But unfortunately, it did consume my mind so much that I just didn't know how to maneuver everything else around me. So I want to say it's gotten better. It's just a roller coaster. That's where I am with my self-love. It's a roller coaster. It's been a roller coaster. It's not always flowers, rainbows, and sunshine. It's a roller coaster right now.
Yeah, and I think Liana mentioned in that episode that like self-love is a journey, like it's continuous. We don't get to a point where it's like, okay, all healed now and we're good to go. And I definitely think you get to have those times where it's like it's me. It's all about me and like what I am going through right now. So,
How about you? Where are you at with your
um,
self-love journey?
we definitely hit a wall pretty hard in 2023, let me tell you. But I'm on an upswing right now. I'm gonna be real honest. I'm like, yeah, I got it. I got it down. And I had this in like the agenda, but I took it out because I was thinking about this the other day. I think I might be like a little like delusional, like a little delulu, like, oh, I can do whatever with the podcast. Like, I'm gonna shoot for the stars, the moon, the sun, all of them. I'm gonna shoot for the entire thing. In my personal life, same thing. Like, if I want it, I'm gonna try my hardest to get it because I can get it because I deserve it. And like, so I was like, am I confident or am I a little like delusional? Like, do you think you have to be like a little delusional to like have like a lot like self-care, like to be good in that area?
Um, yes, because then what else is driving you to do all of these things? It's what's so, what's so funny is that I'll tell Constantine like my weekend plans of like chores or things I need to get done. And he's just like, you have no concept of time, do you? Like, you don't realize like how long that's gonna take you, how long we need to get from point A to point B and back. Like, do you not? I'm like, it'll work out. I'm like, it'll work out. Don't worry, it's gonna work out. And then halfway through the day, I'm like, oh, never mind. Yeah, I was no, I don't know what I was thinking. And he's just like, yeah, of course. Because you weren't thinking. I was like, leave me
I
alone.
can hear him be like, yeah, I know, Amanda.
So yeah, so maybe there are times we need to be a little delulu just to be like, okay, let's chug along. Come on. Yeah.
I think I saw a meme one time that was like, I hope all your delulus come true. And I was like, that.
That's
um,
hilarious.
but I mean, like to be serious, like I did hit a pretty big like wall in 2023 and I feel like I talked about it like throughout the year on the podcast. So I feel like y'all know pretty well, so I don't have to like get really into it. But I had to do a lot of like work on myself, I guess, to it was mostly like examining my motives for things. Like, why do you feel that you have to do this? And why do you feel like you need to be here? And why do you feel that you have to show up for this? And really, I guess asking myself, like, does that like serve you at all? Does it sit well with you? Does this person belong? Does this thing you want like improve your life at all any? And some of the answers that I came up with were no, which I think sometimes we think like it's going to be easy, like, okay, well, it's no, so it's okay. But no is not easy to hear, even from yourself.
Mhm.
And so some of the no's did hurt my feelings, but ultimately, I don't know, I'm on an upswing. So I guess it's better. It was good. We're all worked out, you know?
Right.
And I guess what I'm going to keep doing is asking myself, does this serve me? If the answer is no, why does it not? And if the answer is yes, how does it to decide like what my next moves are?
Okay.
Um,
I like that. You
yes,
know
we're
what
doing
you
okay right
say,
now.
like you saying that like out loud, I'm thinking about, I don't know why, it just popped in my head. Like those questionnaires that have like the graph. And it's like if you say yes, go on to like you go on to into the
Oh,
next little put
oh
if
my
you
gosh,
say
like those
no,
quizzes you used to have in
quizzes,
Cosmo.
you're like a tree. It has to be,
Mm-hmm.
is it like a tree little graph thing? I don't
Yeah,
know. That just popped in my head. I'm so sorry.
I think that's what they're called. I feel like they are
Yeah.
called tree graphs, or
Right.
maybe I don't know. Don't ask me. But yeah, so that's where we are with our self-love journey. Now we're going to dive back a little bit into little Christina and little Amanda and see what was going on with them. I think really our most important question of the show, the thing that's really gonna like drive us this episode is, do you remember self-love like being taught in your household, whether like directly or indirectly?
Yes. And directly, yes, because my mom saw it. If you go back to that episode that we were talking about earlier, I was freakishly tall growing up. It affected my mental health. I didn't realize it. Like now thinking about it, like now I know that it was affecting my mental health because I was very shy. And I think by being shy, that was a way to not like bring more attention to the fact that like this freaking tall person. So I think with that, like my mom did see that and she reminded me that, like I think about the movie The Help where she goes, you was smart, you was important. Yeah. So like my mom would like to me like she'd be like, Amanda, like just don't even think about it. Don't and it's easier said than done, but like don't let it get to you. You're so smart, you're beautiful. And then, she'd hit me with they're envious. Don't worry. They don't have what you have. And um, so yeah, my mom taught me like how to just like be nicer to myself. I gotta thank her because I don't know, kids these days, they're like really mean. And with,
Hmm.
social media and stuff, like you just hear horrible things and stories that thank God we didn't. I don't know how, but I don't know how these, teenagers and kids growing up do it because it's tough out here.
I don't think I could have done teenage years with social media the way that it is now. It's too much. It's a lot. It's a lot sometimes even for adult me. So
For real.
uh
Exactly. People out here going on trips, and I'm like, damn, I want to go on a trip too. But
right.
okay.
I don't want to be in cold New York. But okay, so when I went back and listened to that old episode, you said something that like neither one of us really responded to at the time. And so I kind of wanted to like, because you mentioned that because you were taller, like, and you looked more mature, you felt you had to dress differently and it really like messed with like your, like how you saw yourself. And
Yeah.
I don't know, I just was like, oh my God, like that would make sense for like a young girl. Like you don't look like a child like the rest of your peers and outwardly what the world must have like put on you.
Yeah, like there were times where I just wanted to wear shorts. I wanted to wear skirts. And my mom was like, no, you can't. Like, it's not that she never said you can't. Like, she did allow me to wear shorts, but they were like long ass shorts. And I'm like,
Oh, like those
these,
board shorts.
yeah, I'm like, these aren't in style.
Not what I was
Or like,
talking about.
or like skirts that go like past my knee. I'm like, this is not in style. I look down, I'm like, this isn't style. But that's because she was saving me from like other things
Hmm.
and protecting me. So yeah, so there were times where I just like had to get around wearing things that I didn't look like a child because they'd be like, why does she look so tall? Or why does she look older and she's just wearing like a Mickey Mouse shirt? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, I had to work my way around it.
It's kind of
I wanted
crazy because it's like one way it's like, oh my God, why is she dressing like so little kiddish, even though you are a little kid? And then the other way it's like, oh my God, why are you letting your daughter dress so grown? So like it's like you can't win for losing.
Yeah. So I mean, I didn't wear like tight jeans. I wore jeans that were pretty decent. I was into like wearing baggy t-shirts at the time and basketball jerseys because that was a thing.
Hmm.
I used to wear a lot of basketball jerseys, but because I just felt comfortable and a way to again get around with wearing certain things. But by the time I want to say like middle school came around, I was happy because I went to private school, so I wore a uniform.
Oh,
I
that's
didn't
right.
feel I didn't feel out of place. I mean, the only time that I kind of did was because when we had like dress down, they would give us like a dress down
Hmm.
once a month, I think. So we had to pay like $2 to dress down. It was like a donation. But yeah, like when we used to dress down, that's when I realized I was like, damn, I don't have a lot of clothes right now, but I figured something out. But yeah, when I went to middle school, it kind of like brought some type of relief that I was like, okay, we're all wearing the same thing.
Hmm.
Doesn't matter. It just depended on like how much you rolled up your skirt. That was it. Yeah. Good times.
It's funny because like so I did uniforms in elementary school and junior high. And like my elementary school was like very strict on like the uniforms that we could wear. So like you all were basically wearing the same things. In junior high, it got a little more relaxed and like I've talked about it before, but like you could do like name brand. So like you didn't have to like it didn't have to be plain. And
Hmm.
that's when you started to like see like the little bit of differences because we would also do the dress down days. So like that was like big and showy because you went all out on dress out days.
Hmm.
Like you wore like
Hmm.
your best outfit.
Hmm.
But for junior high, it was a little more overt in how it was done because you could look at like somebody and be like, oh, they're wearing a polo or oh, they're wearing like Abercrombie or you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, and when I went to high school, I was just like, I missed my uniforms desperately in high school. Like
I don't think I would have been able to. Also, high school, went to private school, had my uniforms, excited because again, just put on my slacks or put on my skirt and my stockings, whatever. I was out the door. Loved it. Loved it. And now that I work in a healthcare setting, I prayed that we could all wear scrubs. No, that's not the
Oh,
case.
really?
No, we all have I wear like, just
Like
business
business?
casual clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if they were to tell me tomorrow you can scrub up, I'm in there in the with figs, with that figs company, I'm in there wearing
Saving the colors that you
scrubs.
want for the day that you
Hell yeah. And get matching sneakers for every colored scrub. I used to do that with my uniforms. That's where I used to like show like a little bit of style through my sneakers. I used to be such a
You
big
do
sneakerhead.
shoot like sneakers. You do have a good sneaker collection.
I used to be a big sneakerhead in high school. I used to love all my Dunks, all of my Air Maxes. Love that. But then we had to change. We had to change into like the assigned school shoe.
Mm.
But that was the one time. Hmm.
How funny. Um, I don't know if self-love was taught like directly in my house. My mom was very big on the well, they're just jealous of you. Like I heard that a lot, like growing up. Not a lot, but you know what I mean? Like whenever it came
Oh.
up, sorry. It's not like my mom was telling me this every day.
They're just jealous.
Whenever it was applicable, I heard it. But as far as like directly, no. Like I don't think there was ever like I guess like quote unquote affirmations like spoken into me, where people are like speak kind words into your children like every day. I don't think that was happening, but also like indirectly, which we'll kind of get to here in a little bit, is I don't know, like I came out of my home family life as far as like looks wise, like pretty confident in myself. I mentioned it in the last episode that the like negative feelings that I started to feel about my looks came from outside sources, came from the outside world. But in my inner world, like now I'm just like, yeah, I'm pretty. And
Yeah.
like
Well, I think that's also what I said too. Like growing up, I never saw like my height as an issue when I was with family. Never saw it as an issue. We didn't see that. And it wasn't until I was like, again, with my other peers in school that was pointed out to me. And yeah, it made me self-conscious.
yeah. The outside world, man.
Mm-mm, not about it.
Two thumbs down.
I mean, again, while being in hiatus this month, I was just like, dang, I love being a hermit crab. I forgot how much I love this. Like, actually enjoy being a hermit crab.
Okay, so I guess like kind of to go back to what I was saying, do
Yep.
you have an insecurity that you feel, well, no, let's do the positive first.
Okay.
Do you have something that you're confident about that you feel came from your family or like is because of your family?
I think my family they are a constant reminder of the person, like the kind person I can be, that I am. Like they're always either they're telling my mom, or I don't think they ever tell, I don't know, maybe they've told me in my face, but they do, like, let my mom know that I'm a good kid even though I'm no longer a kid. But they're like, she's a good kid, Amanda is always willing to help out. My uncle, who's my godfather, he told me one time, he goes, my niece, you have like a heart of gold. And, that goes a long way. So they make me feel confident in the fact that I know I can be kind to others. I know what it is to be kind to others and how to receive it. So yeah, 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 yeah.
Good. I feel like mine's in a similar vein. But I will say that it's almost like a I don't want to say backhanded compliment, but like it's come up because it's like, oh, well, you're too kind. Like you're letting people like do this to you too much, or like this is like it's good that you have this, but sometimes you have to realize like it's not always like an advantage, I guess, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
Like my family has like never been shy to like letting me know that like I am a good person or that like I'm smart or that I am a responsible person, like kind of the qualities that I like the most about myself, like that I'm dependable and that I like achieve the things that I like kind of set my sights on and stuff like that.
Hmm.
I guess my ethic almost, is that what that
Yeah.
is?
Yeah.
Yeah, like around in that sphere-ish, like, well, if Christina says she wants it, then Christina's probably going to get it. Unrelated, our family motto is Christina get whatever Christina wants, Christina gets. But it's mostly pertaining to things. But in this sense, it applies to this as well. Like, if I tell my family like there's something that I want to do, then they know like nine, 8 times out of 10, like it's going to happen.
Right. But yeah, sorry, I don't
Determined.
mean to cut you off.
No, determined. That's the thing. That's the word I'm looking for.
Right. So I don't mean to cut you off, but like that saying, what Christina wants, Christina gets. It's not like it's handed to you. No, it's
Yeah.
like you want it, you're gonna go get you yourself are going to work for it to get it.
Yeah. Sometimes. I think my mom would be like, no, because I'm gonna buy her the thing. That's why it is like that.
Somewhere Raquel is laughing.
Yeah, I'll put a little disclaimer on that.
She said, "Ha."
But like, that I feel like that confidence in myself to like achieve the things that I want, the like security in my sense of self to achieve the things that I want or go after what I want, like that wasn't just me. That came from them because they let me know that like my mom was never shy to like tell us like, okay, when you go to college. Like college was not a question in our house. It was when you go, not if you go.
Mhm.
And I feel like when you do this big thing that you want to do in your life or whatever. I guess actually, I think I want to amend my answer now because I feel like those are like the ways she directly was like teaching us self-love because like in turn it was teaching us like self-confidence and stuff that
Yeah.
these things are not, and if they're going to happen, they are going to happen for you. It's just a matter of like how hard you want to work and like what you put into it.
Mhm.
I never thought about that. So I guess like yeah, in that sense, it was definitely taught in our house. Um, and I'm very grateful that I have a family that like believes in me and like and believes that I can achieve the things that I set out for. I feel like it's
Mhm.
been a very useful, like confident or well to pull from in my life. Now the
Mhm.
flip side. Do you have an insecurity that you feel came from your family?
Absolutely. I was thinking about this while you were talking, but I'm still listening to you. Um, the whole Spanglish, you
Ugh,
know,
ugh. Yes, I do know.
Spanglish, because you want to know why? Because you would think why would a language affect your self-love, right? How? What second language? How? You start to question like your identity,
Hmm.
you know? And it's that you questioning your identity does affect how you love yourself or how you see yourself, how you view yourself. So
100%.
so the insecurity of growing up not speaking Spanish, that used to mess with me. Used to get teased for like not knowing Spanish or not talking in Spanish. Like, hold on, correction. I know Spanish. I just wasn't speaking it because Spanish was all around me growing up. And however, when there were times or moments where I felt the slightest of confidence to say a few words in Spanish, I got teased for it for not pronouncing it correctly or using the terminology correctly or grammatically, again, everything, not using it correctly. And okay, so now I'm like, okay, not going to speak in Spanish. Where it should have been like, oh, I understand what you're saying. Next time, let's try saying it this way. Because then that is how you should encourage someone to speak their native language.
Hmm.
And then my mom also got ridiculed for like she was just like, well, she would be told, well, how come she was told how come Amanda doesn't speak in Spanish? Does she not know it? She's like, she does know Spanish. I talk to her in Spanish. It's just that, when she's confident, when she's ready enough, she'll speak it. Also, you know, growing up, my mom had she was afraid that I was gonna be like held back in my studies for not like speaking in English because she remembers her like she remembers her like her past and moving to this country and being put in ESL classes and she kind of like even though she did very well in school, but like she remembers also being teased and not knowing English, so she didn't want that for me,
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the main insecurity. But now I think my mom would say I do speak it more often. My accent isn't there. Sometimes my job requires me to speak in Spanish. And when I do speak to, people over the phone, they're so grateful for being able to get somebody on the line right away to speak Spanish as opposed to like being on hold and getting a translator on the phone and so on the line. So it's great. I've come a long way with that.
And I think you talked about this in a previous episode too. I want to say it's like episode like 2 or 3. Like it's very early when we did like the Spanglish episode. And I remember you mentioning that. So that's, I mean, it's not exciting that that's your like insecurity that you got from your family, but it's exciting that you've come a long way in it.
How about you? What's the insecurity?
You know what's funny is that like mine came later in life. Like I don't think it's anything I picked up as a child, at least nothing I can like think of right now.
Hmm.
Because the thing that comes to my mind to begin with is my weight. Like I left for college and I have not ever hidden the fact that like I, I look back on it and I think I was like severely depressed that first year. Like I just cried a bunch. I stayed in my dorm a lot of the time. I had one friend and it was Thomas. And so I gained weight like my first year, like more than the freshman 15.
Hmm.
And when I kind of came back for, I think Thanksgiving was like one of the first things I came back for, like a relative like commented on my weight. Because when I left, like I remember what I weighed when I left for college.
Hmm.
Um, and so it just I was not that way. I think I had gained like maybe like 20 pounds or so. And then I am not the weight that I was when I left high school because I'm 30 years old now and that's just not how your body works.
It's not.
But my weight has stayed pretty consistent, but I have had like what is it? Like ebbs and flows. I don't think that's the right way to say it. But it's
Oh
fluctuated.
God.
There we go.
Yes.
So I've had moments where like I've lost a lot of weight and then like I've kind of like I don't want to say a lot, that's not true. A decent amount, a noticeable amount of weight, I guess is
Wait.
what I'm trying
Mhm.
to say. And then like I've kind of gained some of it back, but not all of it. And it was just like the comments were really hard because especially because my family always like let me know that like appearance wise, like I was very pretty, like I was a pretty girl. And then when I started getting comments about my weight, it felt, well, like, I guess I'm ugly now. And then I
Mm,
started to like think of myself as like an ugly person, all related to like weight of all
mhm,
things. Like my face still looked the same, like everything like on my like skin itself looked the same. But because I was no longer like 18-year-old me, um, I was no longer pretty, is what it felt like. And
mhm,
that was really hard, especially because like I didn't always have like a lot of confidence in my like appearance, like my looks. But when I did, like, and then I was getting the messaging from my family that like, oh, you need to work on losing weight. I was like, oh my God, like people in the world do not find me pretty, and now my family doesn't find me pretty. And that was a lot to deal with at one time.
mhm.
Um, or just in general, not even at one time, in general, it was a lot to deal with. But now, you know, do I wish I weighed a lower amount? Like, do I wish I weighed less? I mean, I guess so. I don't even necessarily think it's about like the number on the actual scale, but like
Hmm.
more about like my body composition. But I certainly don't think that like I'm ugly or unattractive or less worthy as a person because my body looks the way that it does anymore. That wasn't always the case.
I wish I had that mindset when I was going through my, healthy journey. I
Mhm.
wish I had that mindset. Like I just couldn't, like I couldn't get there. Like and then I would ask Constantine or I'd tell Constantine, I'm like, homie, you let me get this way? Like what? But it's not his fault, you know? I guess that's true love. Um but yeah,
Well,
I
you
wish I
also
had.
like you just gotten married and like that's like being comfortable in a relationship is one thing and then you were comfortable in your marriage. Like that's you had a lot like happen
I've
in
had
1 year.
I've had periods where I've been very comfortable in my relationship with Constantine these last years, like the last 15 years. Like, yes, there've been times. But yeah, I wish I was like I had that mindset. Like I still I'm sorry, what were the exact words that you said that
That
you
I'm not like less worthy.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna tell you this is like a brand new. Like I would say like in the last year and a half, maybe 2 years. 3 years. We'll give it 3 years. Ish. And it's not always as consistent as it has been here lately.
Hmm.
So work in progress, like we said, always. I know sometimes though, like not that Jeremy wishes I was less confident, but sometimes I'll be getting ready in the mirror, right? And I'll be like, oh my God, you have such a pretty girlfriend. Like you're so lucky. And he's like, and he's
Yeah, but
like,
I've been doing it to Constantine too. I'm like, wow. I was like, wow, she's very pretty. Like, you see this in the mirror? Wow. How'd you bag this? I want to know.
like, good for you. Good for you.
Right? This is a lot about you.
Oh my God. Um, I don't even remember what I was saying. That was hilarious. Anyway, on to the next, I guess.
Mhm.
How do you plan to approach self-love and like the family that you make? Because I feel like nowadays parents are really like, oh, this is something like we have to actively do with our kids. So do you
Yeah.
feel that way, one? And if you do, what do you plan to do about it? God, that was
Yeah. So, um, bigger picture, right? That's always been like a goal of ours, Constantine and I, to have little Amanda and little Constantines of our own. So, and I think even Constantine growing up, I don't think he minds that I'm sharing this. Like, he also got like teased and or things were mentioned of his weight, where he also felt a little felt he felt self-conscious about, his appearance as a little boy. And and I think that's how we both like can relate to physical appearance and how that affects us. So I
Mhm.
think we plan on approaching that, when the time comes, we're going to be very upfront about the things that were said about us, our appearance, how it made us feel, and let our kids know that it's not uncommon to experience those things and feel a certain way about yourself where you don't feel confident.
Mhm.
However, they can know that they have a support system that will show them the opposite and teach them that they are worthy of every good thing that comes their way. They're worthy of a lot of a lot of things, I should say. And if they feel out of place, that they should never feel like they cannot come to us about those things because it's crazy. In one way or another, we've been in their shoes. And I'm sure we've all had, like, we are so experienced, I want to say, that we can provide some type of wisdom that'll give them some positivity in their self-care, self-love.
Oh. Um, I think for me, because we do a lot of things on this show where we talk about like, well, this is what was done in our family and this is what we want to try to do differently in ours. And in this area, I think for me, like it's hard to say like what I would do differently because first of all, like what teenage girl wants to listen to their mom about anything? And how many times has somebody been like, well, yeah, of course my mom thinks I'm pretty. Like she has to. She's my mom. So like I don't know if there's anything like my family could have said or done to like make any of that better. But I do know like what I actively like want to do and what I want to, I guess, not, like police myself on because I know like even okay, a quick story, I guess. The other day I sent a friend a video. I was in the bathroom at work and I was like, "Oh my God, my eyebrows look really good." So I like took a quick video and I was like explaining to her like, "Oh, like they're really good shape now and they're like the fluffiness that I like." And so I think I'm gonna try to do them on my own, whatever. But like the video was like maybe 25 seconds. And within that 25 seconds, like I picked out three things in between, like everything I was saying that I did not like about what I was looking at myself. Like, and it was just so like second nature. Like I was speaking and it was coming out like as I was speaking. I didn't even have to pause or like stop or whatever. So I really want to like police what I say about myself in front of my kids. Like I don't want to say anything about my appearance. I don't want to say anything about my weight. I don't want to actively and openly in front of my children like air out when I'm feeling bad about myself because I don't want them to like then have the language to like do that to themselves as well.
That's a good one. That's a very good one. Yeah.
Yeah. So that, and then of course, like just speaking like kindness and like love into my kids to let them know like they are, because you know, I mean, it's fair. Like they're one day gonna grow up and be like, well, of course my mom thinks I'm pretty, like she's my mother. But at least they'll know, like maybe they'll have it in them enough to be like, no, I am, because somebody spoke it into them so much.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I guess, Amanda, lastly, I'm sure the people want to know what are you loving about yourself nowadays?
A big question. A very big question.
We only ask the big questions here on Glowing Up Latina.
Oh my God. Yeah. Oh, I'm not letting things get to me lately. I have been just, I'm going with the flow. I am doing things that need to get done, like prioritizing certain things. And if it doesn't get done, it doesn't get done. However, doesn't mean that my life is in total chaos right now, but I'm just not letting it frustrate me because I just can't afford for anything to get me too stressed out. And I'm just like, it's different. It feels different because 10 years ago, 20-year-old Amanda, she'd be like freaking out about every little freaking thing that she didn't get to do. Or even like 2 years ago, Amanda. But like as of right now, recently, I'm just loving that about myself. Like, again, I'm not saying that again, I'm dirty and my house is a mess. No, absolutely not. Because there needs to be some type of organization. Um, but just I'm not letting a lot of things get to me and just rolling with the punches. Or
Mhm.
not even letting the punches hurt me at all. Yeah.
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
What am I loving about myself nowadays? You know what? Honestly, I think I'm gonna steal yours a little bit because mine is like it's like in the same vein. Like that's not about you, or that has nothing to do with you, or that's not for you, and we just move on instead of like a lot. 2023 was a lot of like being sad about things that were out of my control, things I couldn't. I even if I tried my hardest, I could not control it. So, I don't know what you would call that. Is that like peace or just like security in my own like self and my own person and my own existence? I
Yeah.
think is what that is.
Finding serenity in anything thrown at me.
Pretty much like
Yeah.
something bad happens. Oh, well, I guess, that's just what was supposed to happen today. We'll
That,
figure it out.
I guess so. Yeah. For real.
So, yeah. Well, that's
Yeah.
the end of this episode. I didn't know how to close it out. I was trying to
No.
think of something. Welcome back, Amanda.
Welcome back. Yes, I love this. I love this. This was a fun episode. We recapped a lot of things that we've discussed previously, brought up some new situations, and just again, living life.
Well, Amanda, what is your glow this week? What's making you glow?
So we received an email this week from one of our listeners that really touched my heart and I felt connected to. And I just want to say thank you for sending that to us. I loved your email. Christina, again, also, I shouldn't say we loved your email. Um, Thank you so much for reaching out to us, but felt a connection there. And again, we love it when we're when we're seen, when we're heard, and just, love that we're not talking into the void.
I do love that. Yes.
So, heart, thank you very much. None of this heart stuff situation. If you can see what I'm doing. No, I don't know who does. No,
What the
no.
children do nowadays.
I don't know what the children do now. I do like, the original
The little
heart. If you
emoji hand.
The little emoji hand heart is what I
Oh,
do.
look at Well, yes, we did love your email. Again,
Mm,
you guys, y'all, we read and we see everything. Just so y'all know, I know we don't always respond in a timely manner. I don't always respond in a timely manner, but just know like you are being seen, and if we're not responding, it just got a lot going on all at one time.
yes.
But we are so appreciative that you guys listen to us and that you guys like can feel a connection to the things that we say. I said it last week on the episode. That is the point. That's the point of Glowing Up Latina, that y'all know that, oh, somebody else did this exact same thing that I thought I had to deal with by myself.
Hmm. Hmm.
So, slide in our DMs, hit up our email. We're there. And we will answer eventually, just so you know.
Yes.
Nothing goes unanswered.
Hmm.
So yeah, and then my glow for the week. Okay, I'm reading a new book. It's
Oh,
called
what are you reading?
Whale Fall, and it is literally about a boy who goes down into the sea and gets swallowed by a whale. And yes, and
It's giving a little Moby Dick here.
yes. I don't know. I never read that. Is that what that's about? I was thinking,
I think so. Or
isn't there
James and the Giant Peach, is that also the same? No, Peter
no,
Pan.
that is
No, Peter Pan. Pinocchio. Is it
Pinocchio.
Pinocchio?
Does he get
There's a
swallowed by an
scene.
animal?
Does it? Hold on. We're gonna look this up. Go continue.
For me, it was giving Jonah. Jonah and the Whale. But for whatever reason, this book, and I'm like halfway through it, and there was a part where he was in the whale, and I was like, I am not buying this at all. Like, it's just not like I'm very like usually I can suspend my disbelief for books, but it wasn't happening this time. But I don't know what happened. I don't know why. He was
Uh-huh.
like, it's not spoilers, I guess, but this kid was in this. Apparently, whales have four stomachs. And this kid was in the second stomach and he just made his way back to the first. And I found myself, I was like, oh my God, he did it. Yay. So I was like, apparently I'm more into the book than I thought I was.
Then you thought, right.
But it's good. It's a really good book. So I'm halfway through. I think I recommend it so far. I'll give y'all an update when I have one.
All right. I'm trying to figure. Okay, so Moby Dick, yes, it's just about a kid and a whale, right?
He
And
gets
his,
swallowed by a
I don't
whale.
think he does not. Sorry.
Oh.
It's just a whale is involved in the book. I don't know why. Okay, but I'm looking up. There was a movie I saw as a kid, and I was like, this is trippy AF.
James and the Giant Peach was a little trippy. The animation was different than what was happening at the time. Very good movie though.
Oh Lord, or was it Pinocchio? Does Pinocchio get stuck? Wait, does Pinocchio get stuck in a whale's stomach? I
Oh,
don't
maybe you are thinking of James and the Giant Peach because he somehow like gets into the fruit and it rolls into the sea and
see
he sails
something.
for New York.
Yeah, I see. Yes. Oh, it's Geppetto.
He gets swallowed by a whale.
The father gets swallowed by a giant whale while searching for Pinocchio.
Oh,
I knew there was something.
I did not remember that. I haven't seen Pinocchio in so long.
And then you got like Finding Nemo.
Yes.
So.
Dude, there is Finding Nemo. But yeah, that's what's making me glow this week. I will come back to y'all with whether I recommend the book or not. So far, it's a yes. I just hit like 47%, and that's when I knew I was like, yes, I do like this book. So there we are, you guys. Welcome back, Amanda, again.
Yay.
We hope that you guys find a way to glow this week, and y'all are always welcome to share that with us. Remember that you can catch us next Wednesday on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcast. Spread the word, of course. Share us with your friends, share us with your family, share us with your enemies if you must. And be sure to leave us a glowing review. Just a heads up, I will be pushing for reviews the next couple of episodes. I just know I love y'all, but also reviews are how people find us and how like our reach expands. So if you have a minute, rate us 5 stars on Spotify and leave us a glowing review on Apple Podcasts, please and thank you.
Por favor, thank you, gracias. And then you can find us on Instagram at Glowing Up Latina, like our posts, follow our stories because that's where we're posting up a lot of interaction questions. We want to hear from you guys, as well as the Google form for some questions that you can submit for the last episode. And then again, send us like wonderful emails of what you think of the podcast, what you want us to talk about, or just like again, just like we appreciate your positive comments even on email, but put in those reviews. You can send that to us at glowinguplatina@gmail.com.
And until next week, keep glowing me, huh?
Bye.
Bye.